moments before it runs. Doesn't ask how many eyes are on the session or the ones who might report the holding or the dropping of the standard. The code runs the same regardless of the candid assessment of the observation level in the space. The code doesn't care about the audience, that's the grace and the demand of the actual code versus the performance. The code doesn't care about the audience, that's the importance. I used to run a slightly higher version when the room was watching. The code doesn't care about the audience, it's not for shopping. The code doesn't care about the audience, it runs the same. Doesn't care about the audience, the empty rooms are clear. The code makes on the standard just as loudly as the floor. The code doesn't care about the audience, that's the ball of the genuine code versus the show. The code doesn't care about the audience, let it go. Found a gap between the observed and unobserved performance. Measured it across the years and found the informants of the actual code were in the unobserved, the private session where no benefit of the witness drive it. To the extra where the only reason for the standard is the standard. The code doesn't care about the candor of the empty room's assessment. The code runs blind. The code doesn't care about the audience design. I used to run a slightly higher version when the room was watching. The code doesn't care about the audience, it's not for shopping. The code doesn't care about the audience, it runs the same. Doesn't care about the audience, the empty rooms the claim. The code makes on the standard just as loudly as the fall. The code doesn't care about the audience, that's the ball of the genuine code versus the show. The code doesn't care about the audience, let it go. Code doesn't care about the audience, runs same. The code doesn't matter in the easy moments. It was built for this one. The code was useless in the easy morning when the session ran clean. The code wasn't visible in the comfortable between. The tested code revealed its purpose in the moment of the hard. When the pressure made the code's instructions feel scarred by the weight of the specific and the cost of the applying. The code was built for the hard moment, for the trying of the principle against the actual consequence. The code was built for the hard moment, that's the dense. I used to think the code was for the daily ordinary run. The code was built for the hard moment, that's where the code is done. The code was built for the hard moment, not the easy one. The code was built for the hard moment, the easy session. Doesn't need the code runs on autopilot there. The code was built for the hard moment, for the where the principle makes the cost. The code was built for the hard moment, that's the boss. Understood the code better after the hard moment revealed what the code was for after the hard moment sealed. The purpose of the years of the building and the holding. The code was built for the hard moment, the unfolding of the principle under the actual pressure of the test. The hard moment is when the code earns the rest of the investment that the building put into it. The code was built for the hard moment, that's the grit. I used to think the code was for the daily ordinary run. The code was built for the hard moments, that's where the code is done. The code was built for the hard moment, not the easy one. The code was built for the hard moment, the easy session. Doesn't need the code runs on autopilot. that's the boss. Code built for the hard moment. That's when it runs. When I start negotiating with the code, I've already lost. The code doesn't negotiate. Felt it start the moment the negotiation opened up. The moment I began to ask the code if just this once was enough. The moment I presented to the principal the case for why this situation was the pinnacle of the exception. The code doesn't have a seat at the negotiation table. The code is the complete non-participant in the argument for the deviation. Negotiating with the code is the first capitulation. I used to enter into the negotiation thinking I could win. Negotiating with the code is the code beginning to thin. Negotiating with the code means the code is already losing. Negotiating with the code means the situation is choosing. A version of the code that bends, the code doesn't bend. Negotiating with the code, that's the beginning of the end of the actual code. Just stop. Negotiating with the code means the code has to drop. The healthy version of the code review is not the negotiation, it's the deliberate outside of the pressure recalibration of what the code should say. Done in the clear, not in the moment where the deviation is near and appealing, and the case for it is sharpest and the pressure is the loudest. The code review happens at the leisure of the uncompressed, not at the heat of the exception. Negotiating with the code is the code's deception. To enter into the negotiation thinking I could win. Negotiating with the code is the code beginning to thin. Negotiating with the code means the code is watching the code running, the actual from the evidence collected one by one of what the behavior under pressure actually says about the principle beneath it. The code displays itself in the decisions nobody planned for explicitly. The code emerges from the pattern of the implicitly the principle across the years and the tests. I know what I stand for, the code manifests. I used to look for the code in the stated and the describe. I know what I stand for, the code lives where it's applied. I know what I stand for, the code is in the doing. I know what I stand for, the code is in the viewing of every decision made when the code's cost was real. I know what I stand for, that's the code's reveal, not the document, the live. I know what I stand for, that's the drive. The code with exceptions is not the code, it's a suggestion. The code that bends for the exceptional circumstance is not the code, it's the code's performance of the dance around the difficult. A code that has an exceptions clause is a comfort mechanism wherein the code's applause. The code holds through the exceptional by definition. The exceptional is exactly where the code's commission is most relevant, most required, most tested, and most true. The code has no exceptions clause, it runs the whole through. I used to build the exceptions into the code without noticing. The code has no exceptions clause. The holding is the offering. The code has no exceptions clause. It runs in every weather. The code has no exceptions clause. It holds the whole together through the circumstance that wants the exception to apply. The code has no exceptions clause. That's the code's reply to the reasonable argument for the special case. The code has no exceptions clause. In the language of the reasonable, the exceptions always come with a completely seasonable argument for why this situation is the different one. The exceptions always make the strongest case right when the run of the code is hardest. That's the feature, not the bug. The code has no exceptions clause. Don't pull the rug of the principle under the case that needs it most. The code has no exceptions clause. That's the host. I used to build the exceptions into the code without noticing. The code has no exceptions clause. The holding is the offering. The code has no exceptions clause. It runs in every weather. The code has no exceptions clause. It holds the whole together through the circumstance that wants the exception to apply. The code has no exceptions clause. That's the code's reply to the reasonable argument for the special case. The code has no exceptions clause. The decision looks spontaneous. The code made it years ago. People see the moment of the decision of the person in the pressure. Read the distant less than second of the response as the first moment thinking. Find out that the thinking was done long before the linking of the situation to the response in the moment. The code is the decision made in the previous component of the building. In the quiet deliberation of the standard, the code is the decision before the decision. That's the answer. I used to think the good decision was made in the pressure of the moment. The code is the decision before the decision. The component. The code is the decision before the decision gets made. The code is the decision before the moment and the cascade of the pressure arrives and asks for the response in the real. The code is the decision before the decision. That's the deal. Pre-decided, pre-committed. The code is the decision before the decision. Submitted. The good decision under pressure is the code's delivery of the pre-decided to the moment. That's the category of the automatic that the code produces in the heat. The code is the decision before the decisions need. Under pressure because the code already ran the consideration before the situation arrived at the deliberation station. The code removed the real-time need to think. The code is the decision before the decisions link. I used to think the good decision was made in the pressure of the moment. The code is the decision before the decision. The component. The code is the decision before the decision gets made. The code is the decision before the moment and the cascade of the pressure arrives and asks for the response in the real. The code is the decision before the decision. That's the deal. Pre-decided, pre-committed. The code is the decision before the decision. Submitted. Code is the decision before the decision. Pre-made. The most honest thing I've done is read the code I actually run, not the one I thought I Pull the decisions from the last 12 months and read them back. Read them like a stranger reading someone else's track record. Read the pattern of the choices without the story. I've been telling about the values in the category of the principles. Found the code the decisions described was slightly different than the code I had subscribed to in the state. It found the gap and held it honest. Reading my own code, that's the code's response list. I used to read my code from the stated and the described. Reading my own code from the decisions, that's the lives. Reading my own code from the actual record of the done. Reading my own code is the most uncomfortable one. Of the practices the code revealed by the pattern is the real. Reading my own code, the decisions break the seal of the preferred self-description. Reading my own code, the honest prescription. The gap between the stated code and the actual code is the most useful information on the road of the building. The gap shows exactly where to focus. The next season's work, the gap is the locus of the developing opportunity. Reading my own code without the defensive edits is the highest load of honesty the building asks for. The discomfort of the honest. Reading my own code is the code's promise. I used to read my code from the stated and the described, reading my own code from the decisions that's the live. Reading my own code from the actual record of the dime. Reading my own code is the most uncomfortable one. Of the practices, the code revealed by the pattern is the real. Reading my own code, the decisions break the seal of the preferred self-description. Reading my own code, the honest prescription. Reading my own code, honest record of the done. The rule book ends at page 40. The code runs past that. Frequently occurring, the rules were written for the situations we're conferring into the documented, into the spelled out in the known, but the edge case that nobody cataloged alone in the uncharted moment where the rulebook has no pages, where the code takes over from the rules exact state. The code runs when the rules run out, that's the design. The code is the internal that extends past every line. I used to look for the rule that covered the specific situation. The code runs when the rules run out, that's the code's foundation. The code runs when the rules run out, past the last page. The code runs when the rules run out, in the unmarked stage of the uncharted moment where the rule book has no voice. The code runs when the rules run out, that's the internal choice. Maybe for the moment, by the years of the building. The code runs when the rules run out, that's the yielding. Rules are the codification of what previous experience said the standard is. The code is the adherence to the principle beneath the rule, the thing the rule was built on. When the rule runs into territory it wasn't built on, the code keeps going, the code reads the principle and applies it to the novel and the invincible. New situation, the code derives the right response. The code runs when the rules run out, that's the renaissance. I used to look for the rule that covered the specific situation. The code runs when the rules run out, that's the code's foundation. The code runs when the rules run out, past the last page. The code runs when the rules run out, in the unmarked stage of the uncharted moment where the rule book has no voice. The code runs when the rules run mood when the action is the principle speaking versus the subdued reaction to the circumstance. When the doing is the real code, running versus the situational feel, driving the response. The code has a particular clarity in the voice of it at different register. The rarity of the automatic that precedes the deliberate. This is the code speaking and the code is legitimate. I used to confuse the code's voice with the mood's voice in the moment. This is the code speaking. The code is the component. This is the code speaking. Not the feeling, not the fear. This is the code speaking. The principle is clear in the moment that it runs before the mood can interfere. This is the code speaking. That's the cleanest gear of the decision, the pre-decided. This is the code speaking. Code provided. Code provided. Learn to trust it when it speaks in the particular tone of the certain and the clear and the already known versus the situational urgency of the mood's demand. Learn the code has a different weight and a different hand in the choice, lighter in the immediate, heavier in the long. This is the code speaking and the code has always run strong underneath the noise, underneath the circumstantial loud. This is the code speaking rising through the crowd. Used to confuse the code's voice with the mood's voice in the moment. This is the code speaking. The code is the component. This is the code speaking. Not the feeling, not the fear. This is the code speaking. The principle is clear in the moment that it runs before the mood can interfere. This is the code speaking. That's the cleanest gear of the decision, the pre-decided. This is the code speaking. Code provided. This is the code speaking. The mode. The code. The code I talk about is not my code. The code I live is my code. Said I valued honesty and then the test came in the saying. Met the doing and the gap between the saying and the paying of the cost of honest in the moment that it cost something real. Showed the actual code, not the stated ideal. The code is written in the doing in the moment of the price and the choosing when the choosing has a real and present vice on the outcome in the moment where the stated met the actual. Written in the doing, not the saying, that's the factual. I used to think the code I stated was the code I actually ran. Written in the doing, not the saying, that's the code of the man. Written in the doing, not the saying. The real code lives in the act. Written in the doing, not the saying, not the stated on the pact of the comfortable declaration, but the moment under cost. Written in the doing, not the saying. That's the code's exhaust of the performance. Just the actual. Written in the doing, not the saying. That's the factual. Read the code I actually run by reading what I've done, not what I've said about the principles. Not the stated one, but the revealed one. The one that appears in the decisions under pressure in the moment where the code revisions show up as the gap between the version I describe and the version that arrived when the moment applied. The test written in the doing, that's the read of the real. Written in the doing, not the same, that's the deal. I used to think the code I stated was the code I actually ran. Written in the doing, not the saying, that's the code of the man. Written in the doing, not the saying. The real code lives in the act. again. Different man, same starting line. Day one looks the same as all the other day ones that I've known. Same empty room, same weight on the bar, same cold and alone. Feeling of the beginning before the compound starts to run. Same unfamiliar ache of the muscle, not yet won. Back from wherever the gap between the sessions left is sitting, but this day one is different in the way that's worth admitting. I'm not the same person that arrived at the last day one. I carry everything the previous one's already done. I used to feel the day one like it meant I lost the ground. Day one again. The ground is different now. The crowd is sound. Day one again. Not starting from the zero of before. Day one again. I carry everything I've learned. I carry more than the person at the last day one had access to. Day one again. The starting line is not the same as who was standing here last time. Day one again. I bring the climb. The body remembers faster than the first time through. The muscle memory survives the gap and comes back into view sooner than the beginner version ever could have known. Every previous day one compacted in the bone, and the pattern the system rebuilt faster on the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth restart, because the body heard every previous version of the work and kept the code. Day one again. I'm not starting from the road. I used to fear the day one like it meant I lost the ground. Day one again. The ground is different now. The crowd is out. Day one again. Not starting from the zero of before. Day one again. I carry everything I've learned. I carry more than the person at the last day one had access to. Day one again. The starting line is not the same as who was standing here last time. Day one again. I bring the climb. Day one again, not zero. I bring more. Every hot season adds to the fire. The file doesn't lie. Built to fall across the years of every proving ground survived. Every hard season cataloged. Every test arrived and documented by the doing, by the showing up and through. The catalog grows with every season that I went into and came out the other side of with something to log. Every entry in the file cuts through the morning fog of the doubt that asks if I can handle what's ahead. Evidence collected, that's the file I've read. I used to doubt myself in the face of the next difficult arriving. Evidence collected is the file that keeps the confidence thriving. Evidence collected is the file of every hard thing clear. Evidence collected, every proving ground out and moved through and logged and added to the case. Evidence collected, the proving grounds embrace. Survey. preparation to the end. Evidence collected, that's the proving ground stands. I used to doubt myself in the face of the next difficult arriving. Evidence collected is the file that keeps us confidence thriving. Evidence collected, the file of every haunting. Clearness collected, every proving ground on. And move through enlarging attitude the case. Evidence collect the proving grounds and race of every difficult completed. Evidence collected, the doubt is defeated. Name the fear exactly. Watch it get smaller. Yeah, fear lives in the vague, fear dies in the specific. Vague fear is enormous, specific fear is terrific. That shrink into a manageable and answerable size. Once you pull it from the fog and put it in plain light. Name the worst case, name it exactly, write it down. In the probability of the worst case coming around. Name what you do if it did around, name the recovery. Fear setting is the mental tough's most honest discovery. I used to let the vague fear fill the whole room unchecked. Fear setting cuts it down to size. Put fear to the test. Fear setting, name the fear exactly what it is. Fear setting, put it in the light and watch it fizz down from enormous to the manageable and real. Fear setting is the mental tough's most honest deal. Name it, size it, answer it. Feel fear setting, that's the opposite of quit. That's the opposite of quit. Worst case is almost never as catastrophic as the vague. Worst case named and answer loses most of the opaque. Terror of the undefined, the formless monster in the dark. Specific worst case in the light is just a mark on the map that has a route around it or through it, or a plan for recovery if it occurs. And having that plan ran through the mind in advance removes the power of the fear. Fear setting is the mental tough's most useful frontier. I used to let the vague fear fill the whole room unchecked. Fear setting cuts it down to size. Puts fear to the test. Fear setting, name the fear exactly what it is. Fear setting, put it in the light and watch it fizz down from enormous to the manageable and real. Fear setting is the mental tough's most honest deal. Name it, size it, answer it. Fear setting, that's the opposite of quit. Name the fear exactly. Watch it shrink. powerful but purposeful, and painless are not synonymous or merciful. On the body or the mind or the relationships in the room, growing pains are still pains, and the pain takes up the room. The pain takes up regardless of its purpose in the plan. Doesn't hurt less because the meaning is ahead. The growth context doesn't reduce the cost of the feeling. Growing pains are still pains, that's the honest dealing. I used to use the label growing pain to skip the actual feeling. Growing pains are still pains. The cost requires real dealing. Growing pains are still pains. Feel them fully first. Growing pains are still pains. Don't skip past the worst of the experience, because the context makes it meaningful. Growing pains are still pains, and the pain is still sequential. Through the body, through the mind, growing pains are still pains. Take the time. Take the time. The meaning doesn't anesthetize the cost of the transition. The purpose doesn't mute the grief of every composition that the growth dismantles before it builds the new. Growing pains are still pains, and the pain deserves its due. Process deserves the actual time it takes to move through, not the compressed version where the label talking to you about the purpose makes the cost seem manageable before it is. Growing pains are still pains, acknowledge what this is. I used to use the label growing pain to skip the actual feeling. Growing pains are still pains. The cost requires real dealing. Growing pains are still pains. Feel them fully first. Growing pains are still pains. Don't skip past the worst of the experience, because the context makes it meaningful. Growing pains are still pains, and the pain is still sequential. Through the body, through the mind, growing pains are still pains. Take the time. Take the Nobody tells you about the tax when they sell you the growth. Every level up comes with a bill nobody shows you in the pitch. Every version of yourself that's better comes with a switch from something that was comfortable to something that costs more. Every growth has a tax, and the tax is at the door. Before you get to keep the version that you built, the growth tax is the comfort, lost the familiar that's built out the back of the new version. Every upgrade has a fee. Nobody tells you about the growth tax when they sell you free. I used to think the growth was just the adding of the new. Growth tax, something leaves for everything you're moving through. Growth tax, every upgrade has a cost. Growth tax, something old is always lost, not just the gaining of the better and the new. Growth tax is the price of who you're moving to. Name it. Growth tax, don't disclaim it. Growth tax, don't disclaim it. Pay the growth tax in the comfort of your routine. Paid it in the certainty of knowing what things mean. Before the growth expanded the vocabulary of the possible charging, I'm becoming paid the growth tax. Every season paid it without running from the cost, because the cost is what the upgrade actually is. Crush growth tax, pay it forward, that's the only business.
Used to think the growth was just the adding of the new.
Growth tax, something leaves for everything you're moving through. Growth tax, every upgrade has a cost. Growth tax, something old is always lost, not just the gaining of the better and the new. Growth tax is the place of foothold you're moving to. Say it, know it, name it. Growth tax, don't disclaim it. Growth tax,
Two choices in every room. Lead it or leave it.
Complaining isn't a third option. Caught myself complaining about the culture in the room, about the standard and the pace and the direction and the doom of what would happen if things kept running at this rate. Then I stopped and asked the question of my actual state. Was I leading? Was I changing? What I said was wrong? Or was I just the person who complained about it all along without actually moving toward the fix or the door? Leave the room or leave it, that's the ownership core.
I used to think the commentary was the same as the contribution.
Leave the room or leave it, that's the ownership solution. Leave the room or leave it, no third option in between. Leave the room or leave it, complaining's not a seed. I get to play without the action backing up the word. Leave the room or leave it, that's the ownership preferred. No commentary without the move. Leave the room or leave it, that's the groove. That's the groove. Leadership is ownership, means taking on the energy of the room you're in and asking what your actual remedy is for the gap between the current and the standard you believe should govern what's occurring. And if you won't achieve that change, then ownership means choosing to remove yourself from the environment instead of running the groove. Complaining without acting, commissary without scared. Leave the room or leave it, that's the ownership within.
I used to think the commentary was the same as the contribution.
Leave the room or leave it, that's the ownership solution. Leave the room or leave it, no third option in between. Leave the room or leave it, complaining's not a scene. I get to play without the action backing up the word. Leave the room or leave it, that's the ownership preferred. No commentary without the move. Leave the room or leave it, that's the groove.
The contract I'm complaining about,
I signed it. Caught myself complaining about a situation that I'd made. Every condition condition that was bothering me. I'd laid in place with choices made across the previous months and years. Every arrangement that was now producing friction, and the fears had a signature at the bottom of the page, and it was mine. I'd written the conditions, I'd agreed to every line. Couldn't claim the victim of a contract I had authored. I wrote the conditions, ownership restored. I used to treat my circumstances like a weather I've been given. I wrote the conditions. That means I'm the one who's driven. I wrote the conditions. I can rewrite them from here. I wrote the conditions. The authorship is clear. Every situation I'm in has my handwriting below. I wrote the conditions. And the conditions can go into revision. Into no. I wrote the conditions. I can write them through. Not every condition is fully authored by my hand. Some things arrive from outside what I planned, but my response to every one of those is mine to write. My interpretation, my next move, my chosen fight or adaptation. Every secondary condition starts with what I do with what I'm given. That's the parts that ownership controls completely without exception. I wrote the conditions, that's the ownership perception. I used to treat my circumstances like a weather I've been given. I wrote the conditions. That means I'm the one who's driven. I wrote the conditions. I can rewrite them from here. I wrote the conditions. The authorship is clear. Every situation I'm in has my handwriting below. I wrote the conditions. And the conditions can go into revision. Into no. I wrote the conditions. I can write them through. I wrote the conditions. Rewriting now. Not asking what this week returns, asking what's in years. That's every decision gets the decade filtered before the day. Not just what does this give me now, but what does this repay in 10 years? When the compound is at time to run its course, when the small consistent choice has found its actual source of return. Not the daily, not the quarterly report, but the structure built across the years. That's the real sort of question worth the asking. Decade thinking changes every call, changes what you plan today when you're thinking for the long haul. I used to make decisions for the season I was in. Decade thinking changed the math and changed where I begin. Decade thinking, not this week, not this month, not this year. Decade thinking, where does 10 years of this bring me here? Every choice runs through the filter of the long return. Decade thinking is the only kind of thinking I've learned. Not the quarterly, not the sprint. Decade thinking, that's the print. Decade thinking makes the boring choice the obvious one. Makes the consistent and unglamorous the race to run. Makes the shortcut look expensive when you run the real math. Makes the slow and steady look like the only profitable path. Now I hold every temptation up against the 10-year frame. Ask the question of the choice with the decade in the name. Most of what felt urgent in the moment exactly where I folded. I keep that address. There's a version of that day I replay when I'm getting weak. Walked into the hardest set and let my body speak for me. Quit one rep before the breakthrough, told myself I tried. Called it listening to my limits, really I just lied. Carried that one moment like a scar I wouldn't show. Used it as a compass every time I wanna go slow. Cause the worst part wasn't failing, failing's just a single page. The worst part was the quiet choice to walk off of the stage. I gave that day the power to decide who I would be. Took the power back the moment that I stopped agreeing. Last time I folded, I remember every detail. Use it as the fire, never let the memory fail. Every rep I push right now is paying back that debt. Last time I folded was the last time I won't forget. I carry it like fuel, not shit. I carry it to never fold again. Fold again. Some carry shame like it's a sentence. Dragging through the years, I carry mine like evidence. The proof of why I'm here. Every quitting point I memorized became a marker on the map, showing me exactly where the old me used to snap. Now